Hey, what's up? What's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And this is part 2 of my coverage of the Diddy Trial's closing arguments by the prosecution. Now, today on Thursday, they're going to be doing the closing arguments for the prosecution. And then tomorrow on Friday, they're going to be doing the closing arguments for the defense. Now, I don't know what is in the water today, but it is cold outside. And the cold air has brought out the crazies. I am looking directly across me at a complete and utter circus. They are acting a plumb fool outside of the Diddy trial. And I am over here off to the side and out the way because they are doing way too much out here. It's like a look at me, monkey see, monkey do contest. And it's giving ghetto, okay? And guess what I'm doing? Getting away from the ghetto. But we're here to talk about the closing arguments and if the feds were able to tie up the RICO. They over there dancing, child. I mean, do y'all want to see what the ghetto is giving over there? Y'all want to hear about the closing arguments? What y'all want to do? Let me know. But anyways, the prosecution, according to a lot of different people that I talked to, a lot of people feel as though the prosecution is giving it to Diddy today. Now, we can all, or a lot of people can feel as though the prosecution is doing a good job of tying up what they feel is the RICO. But when the defense gets on there tomorrow, it could be a whole different ballgame. Now, they are alleging that there are several players who are victims in this case. They're saying that Cassie's a victim, Capricorn's a victim, Mia's a victim. So many people were a victim of not only trafficking, but also forced labor. They are saying that when he had Cassie up there getting hit with the triple-decker special, there were times where she had infections, UTIs, and she was getting gangbanged like that. And they calling that forced labor, trafficking. And even with Jane as well, they said there were times when they wanted to do it, and then the times that they did not want to do it, and Diddy was telling them, finish strong, you can do it. And they were forced to perform even on their monthly when they were in the red. That was an example of forced labor. Now, they went over a lot of different examples of what would constitute forced labor. And I'm going to go over all of that with you. But y'all said y'all want to see the circus. So I'm going to show y'all the circus just really, really quickly. And then we're going to get down to business. But y'all know I would love for y'all to show y'all support by hitting the like button, okay? Hit the like button on my video. Put me in the algorithm. I am not in the Diddy algorithm because I did not cover this every single day and make a video every single day. And I have not been in New York every single day. I came week 2, and then I came back last week, and I've been here for 2 weeks covering the trial. But I need you guys to hit the like button, hit the share button so that you can tell a friend that I'm here about to bring y'all the inside scoop. I'm also about to show y'all the circus in a second. All right. But make sure you hit the like button. And if you ain't feeling too stingy, you can send a $10, $20, $30 holla to my Cash App or via Super Chat. Now, let me grab my laptop. Hi, how are you?
How's he making out?
Who? Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
This is the 50-50 chance.
It's a 50-50 chance. You never know. I don't know. You wasn't in there?
No, they still got visitor space up there.
Yeah.
Oh, is it still going on?
Yeah.
What floor is on?
24. They'll tell you if you ask them in there. Yeah. All right, so let me show y'all the circus before I get started. For what? Let me show y'all what's going on here, child. Hell no, not for you.
That's right.
Child, I ain't gonna be over here for long. I can't be in the trenches like this. I see you was causing a ruckus earlier too. Why you was hooting and hollering earlier?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
No, not me. Not me. Not big.
He was causing a ruckus earlier. What was the ruckus about?
No, not me.
Oh, she want to be on. Okay. But hi.
What ruckus?
Thank you for watching. You was causing a ruckus earlier.
What ruckus? I just came out here not too long ago.
Oh, he lying, y'all. He capping. Let me finish showing y'all the energy around here because he capping and all of that.
Yo, I just told her. She don't ever get lie. Here we go.
Hey, y'all.
It was not even
and
me.
Lexi got a twin.
Yeah, you missed it. It was not even me. See?
You think Diddy's gonna think Diddy's What do you think?
Yeah, go ahead. Get her.
Oh, this look professional. She want titties?
No. We don't want. No. We don't want. Yeah, we're gonna have to move around. What you think of the closing today?
Honey, I think it's type crazy.
I
You
gotta
feel
come over
me?
here, 'cause
At first, I thought that Diddy was going to get off. Now, I'm not really sure. I'm feeling like, he might serve a little bit of time. The prosecution was really doing their thing today, proving the racketeering. So, yes, I'm not sure. I'm interested in seeing what is going to go on tomorrow and, see where that leads us.
Now, this young lady said I started some type of melee earlier.
With the Mexicans.
Or was
Doing
somebody
what?
else arguing with the other guy?
No.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
he looked just like the other guy.
Yeah, so
He got a twin?
He may. They say we all do.
we all doing this, bro.
Oh, okay, well, it wasn't him, but he looked like the other guy that was up here. I apologize if it wasn't
Big
you.
Mike is the
But I
troublemaker. You're a troublemaker.
tell the people what's up. Were you inside? Did you hear the closing argument?
No, I wasn't inside, but Diddy's going down. He's cooked.
Can you get the fuck away from me, DJ?
He's cooked.
No, nigga, you too close and you pregnant.
He's cooked. Diddy is cooked. The prosecution did an excellent job in closing arguments. We gotta see what the defense say. If they come with this justification stuff, he's going to be done.
I don't like niggas.
And I approve of that. Y'all can follow me on TikTok, Big Mike 626 or Big Mike 0626 on YouTube. Thank you.
All right. Hey.
Say sorry. You went to the
I'm
Africans?
sorry.
You went to
said
the
if it wasn't
Africans?
you, I'm sorry, but
Who
you
did
look
your hair?
like
The Africans did your hair?
No.
How do I look like
You went
anybody?
where you went? Hey, yo, listen.
You look like the guy that was causing a ruckus earlier.
This here straight from the West Coast.
Yeah, tell him hi.
We showing the East Coast love, you heard?
All right,
East
we
Coast
gotta move
love,
away
Diddy
from here. He's
Trial.
playing music. I gotta run. They playing music. Sorry. I gotta go, child. It's getting a little too ghetto over there, honey. But I had to show y'all what was going on, but we got to get on. It's a little crazy, honey. So let me go back over here in the peace and quiet. Where it's a little more civilized. You gotta get away. The people wanted to see the circus, but we gotta get it from up over there, child. I can't do too much crazy. Now they even louder that I done walked away. But anyways, and then I'm like, I don't want them to smack my laptop out of my hand, because then we're going to have to be squabbling. And I don't want to get ghetto up in this dress. So I said, you know what? Let me move because they kept getting a little too close. I'm trying to give myself space in between the people. And then they coming up closer and closer. I said, hold on. I got my laptop in my hand. Back up. Let me run and let me run. But anyways, let's get into these closing arguments. Somebody said, I know y'all hot. No, it's actually cold today. But y'all came to find out about the closing arguments. And as you see, so many people I'm not capping. There are so many people who I talked to today that said, you know, I wasn't sure about the RICO. I wasn't sure if he was guilty. And I've been talking to those same people, and they are listening to the prosecutors and saying that they now feel that he is guilty. Child, it is crazy over there. I'm over here trying to stay focused with y'all, but it is literally crazy over there. But anyway, so let's start with how they started the day. But first, make sure to hit the like button. If you have not hit the like button, I mean, you could even say, you know what, Nick, this is $1 on some coffee. Send that to the Cash App. I mean, that would be greatly appreciated in all of that. Somebody being messy in the chat gonna say, go back over there. Now, if I go back over there and my laptop accidentally get knocked out of my hand, are you gonna foot the bill? No, you ain't. So anyways, I think the family is about to come out. It's a mess. You said stay in the light. Girl, I'm trying to stay in the light, honey. Stay in the light. And then the lady kept following me, talking about she looking for her interview. Girl, bag back. You talking about showing boobs and all that. We don't need none of that. So anyways, let's pull up some of the goings-ons. And if my stream lags in any way, or if things are not coming out clear, let me know so that I can make any necessary adjustments that I need to make. If there is any problems or issues with the stream, let me know. All right. Let's see. But we should have good service. It should be coming through. So after the break, it says, all right, the judge, when it came back from the break, the judge says, all rise. He told Miss Slavic that she can proceed. And then she says, let's go back to the 3 night. Let's go back. It says the 3 nights were part of a buildup from fraud, coercion to finally force. And she said, somebody said she didn't lie when she said it's a circus. Absolutely not. So anyways, all right, so let's get into the details of closing and how all of this thing is tied up. Now, I did a video earlier and I went over some of the stuff that they went over this morning. Now, in the afternoon, they were showing bruises from Cassie. They were laying out this thing flat out, letting you know he is guilty. And if he ain't guilty of anything, he is definitely guilty of transporting these entertainers from one city to one city, crossing state lines in exchange for these freaky dicky acts. That is illegal. And they said, I don't care what you feel about it, if you feel like they were participating, if you feel like they consented, if you fly somebody from one state to the next and you pay them money for that tail, that is trafficking. And they went on to basically lay it out. But she says, Jane told you about Miami in 2024. He gave her liquid Molly. They showed you video. They'll argue that she was super into it, but she was super high. His coercion included threats to release tapes of her having hanky-panky in the hotel rooms. Combs threatened to send S-tapes to Jane's child's father. Okay, so they was trying to send tapes to the other rapper guy. Y'all know who that is. If you don't know who Jane is and you don't know who he was threatening to send a video. And I wonder why that's such his enemy, because he probably low-key got one of those videos and was mad that his baby mama was getting flipped every which way. But anyways, it says that Diddy was threatening Jane that she was going that he was going to send her getting packed by the triple-decker special, and he was going to show that to the baby daddy. Okay, so get in line, or I'm showing it to your baby father. And you know he was going to try to take child support. Now it says that he threatened to release tapes on Jane. This was to coerce her into more commercial hanky-panky acts. The defense has suggested that Jane agreed to these hotel nights. Let's talk about what agreeing means. This is an incomplete picture. Let's turn to volume 2. We're going to talk about Cassie with several examples. You know, from sitting through the trial to the force was not limited to these days. Through decades they were together. He forced her to have hanky-panky with escorts. Cassie was 19. He was in his late 30s. He signed her to a 10-record deal. He took her on a yacht and gave her e-pills. They had a hanky-panky shaboink session. They were in a relationship. She had just turned 21. The defendant was her boss, who called all the shots. Now, they calling in enforcement now because they getting a little too crazy over there. But anyways, they say that Cassie was 19. He was in his late 30s. He signed her to a 10-record deal. He took her on a yacht and gave her e-pills. They had hanky-panky. They were in a relationship. She had just turned 21. The defendant was her boss, who called the shots. He molded her, and he told Capricorn, "Let me show you." Then ordered Cassie around, and she did it. Walk and turn around. Total compliance. He didn't take no for an answer. He was abusive, physical, emotional, psychological, and shaboink, way too. All right. They said that he was, let me see if I should bring this up so that y'all can see the people as they come out. Hold on. Let me give y'all a good angle so y'all can see me. And if y'all want to see some of y'all faves come out as well. Or do I need to? Let me see if I need to scoot over some. Hold on. I'm trying to let y'all see. Anyway, y'all see something. All right. All right. So let me go back to where I was. It said he molded her and he had complete compliance over her. They want you to call this just a DV situation, but he was forcing her to have freakoffs. He controlled everything. He demanded that her nails be done a certain way on red carpets. The Vanity Fair party in 2014, Deontay Nash told you that he shouted. Combs shouted, "I thought I told y'all she had to have her hair up." He wouldn't let her make money from her music. She was offered the chance to do a Common video. Puff said no. He paid for her car, clothing, phones, and vacation. He made her dependent. He did it to her family too. After he found out she was with Kid Cudi, he demanded $20,000 from her parents to pay him back or he'd release tapes. That month, in just this account, he had 3.2 million coming in and out. This was about control. Remember what Dr. Hughes said: when a victim is unsure, footing the abuser has control. He punched her, he kicked her, he dragged her. When it was bad, he hid her in hotels to heal and not be seen. You saw photos of D-Rock, Rube, Polly. They knew. It says he attacked her for attending Prince's party until Prince's security intervened. Mia and Maya Morales described the abuse to you. Cassie told you when she got to the house, he threatened to release the tapes. He assaulted her in Jamaica. He beat her up in Vegas while she was curled up under the toilet. She said D-Rock cried. There was his assault in the Intercontinental Hotel caught on tape. For Cassie, it was her normal. She was there and he attacked Mia, Deontay Nash, and Bonna. Bonna may have gotten the date wrong, but she had gotten injured. Okay. One time he has Cassie hold his guns for him. The diner and Suge incident. Cassie was in the house. She saw what happened when he left to go to the diner and pack the heat to try to confront Suge. She knew that violence can happen. They said, so you want to ask why didn't she leave? Miss Hughes explained that hitting leads to fear, okay? Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, he didn't lock her up in chains and he didn't have her bound and hogtied. And they're letting you know that you can be in a mental prison from fear, okay? They're saying that just because you're not tied up and bound doesn't mean that you're not scared for your life to do the wrong thing. They were showing that she had fear and she was scared. Now, in addition to that, it said that even when Cassie was in South Africa, she could not get away. KK kept calling. D-Rock was loyal only to the defendant. He played both sides. He talked to Cassie and then he reported it back to the defendant. She is about to ice up. I told her to chill out. They met for dinner in Malibu. Then he R-worded her on the living room floor. She said no. She cried, but he didn't take no for an answer. He R-worded her. He wrote in a text message and said, I can tell I didn't turn you on yesterday. That is him trying to dumb down the fact that he took her cookie box, okay? They're like, even though he didn't say, hey, I R-worded you, are you okay? That was him trying to let her know, well, you know, I know that, you know, it didn't go like, you know, it was supposed to go. That was him explaining or trying to apologize for just taking it. Now, it said, because of the trauma bond after the R situation, she met him at a friend's party and then had a consensual encounter with him. All right. So after the consensual encounter, they said that is because of a trauma bond. So he R-worded her and then she had a consensual situation after. It says he had an MO and hours long performance. He whacked his wanker and sometimes filmed, just like with Jane. It says sometimes the defendant told escorts to urinate on her. Sometimes he urinated himself. Why turn himself? They said why? To turn himself on. So they're like, he was peeing on her because that made him excited, not because she got anything out of it. That was something that made him feel some type of way. It said, then they're going to try to share with you guys the text messages of Cassie where she texted him and wrote, I love our freakoffs when we both want it. They said this is not an all or nothing situation. There were times he knew she didn't want to do it. That is trafficking. She obviously didn't want to have an escort urinate in her mouth while she lay on the floor. And then they said, let's talk about the videos. You've seen clips. You don't see weapons, but you see her having a shaboing session. She's DJing her cuda box. Ooh, my skirt about to fly up. Good Lord. It is blowing out here. Child, my skirt almost blew up. But anyways, they said in the freak off videos, you see that she was DJing her cookie box. You see that she was what else did it say? Where was I at? Okay, they say you see her having hanky panky. You see her DJing her cookie pox. The defendant is moving the camera around at times, and he focuses on the escort and not Cassie at all. It was clear that this was about his fantasy, not Cassie's. Okay, so they're saying, listen, while he had a beautiful woman laid up next to him, he was focusing his video on the man. Okay, and the man is the one that he was paying to do these FOs. All right, so let's continue. It says the March 5th, 2016 Intercontinental Hotel video. Before the Intercontinental Hotel, Cassie had a premiere. It was a big night for her. She agreed to do a freak off as damage control. Look at this. She says, I don't want you thinking I don't want to. She knows the defendant won't take no for an answer. The defendant gets Jules to come, and then you know what happens after that. An argument with the defendant. He hits Cassie in the face. All she can think about is her premiere. So she takes off her shoes and they begin to show the Intercontinental video. So as they're going over the events of the Intercontinental video where she was assaulted, the family is coming out right now. Y'all want me to try to get it? It's gonna be too much to get over there. Y'all see it. But anyways, let's continue. All right, so it says the defendant gets Jules to come. You know what happens? An argument. The defendant hits Cassie in the face. All she can think about is her premiere. She takes off without her shoes.
She did not like my newscaster voice, is what I heard.
Come. Are you going up there to get the family? Oh, he said, I got to make sure my line set is doing what he got to do. Okay, Mims, they love you over here. Everybody's coming. James, you know it's a media circus over there. You want to say hi to the people?
Hey, everybody, please make sure to follow me on all social media platforms at James R. Sanders. That's James, Jamesr Sanders. And please follow me on my YouTube channel because I am trying to monetize and get just like this queen, Nick at Night, period.
Okay, period. Oh, wait, 1 second, just real quick. Did you think the prosecution did a good job? And this is James. He is also a writer for Essence as well.
Essence. I'm also a writer for NBC, HuffPost, and Vogue magazine. I think that the prosecution was mediocre.
Really?
Yeah, not hot, not cold. I'm really looking forward to what the defense does. I think that they are well worth the money, including and especially Brian Steele and Nicole Westmoreland. I think that throughout this trial, they've not been given enough opportunity and space to shine. And I'm hoping that tomorrow we'll get to see more. But from what I hear, Mark Agnifilo is going to be handling.
Oh, he's not really that good.
And yeah, he's a little dry.
Yeah, I don't like his delivery.
Yeah, like bread with no butter. So time will tell.
All right, I don't want to hold James up. Thank you for stopping by. He is definitely somebody to follow, but Mark Agnifilo is not a good person to deliver anything. He is a snooze fest for sure. This the superstar right here. You want to say hi to the people? Look, I gotta go.
I'm going to a comedy show today, but we're gonna do a stream. It was oh, you got your whole computer out.
Yeah, I gotta.
Oh, you passed me the mic. Yeah. I don't know really what to say.
Did you think the prosecution did a good job?
Tune in to my. No, just...
You gotta tell your whole spiel, your whole talking points.
It was good. This arm, this bicep is really doing what it needs to do. Yeah, I think that they did a fantastic job today, honestly.
Do you think that it was better than mediocre, or? I
think it was good, but I just this case it just goes so left and right. Like they'll be doing that, and then tomorrow, you know, the defense will do a drop kick out of nowhere.
Right.
And have us gagging, but I feel like it's gonna be hard to do. So we'll see.
All right, he gonna leave all his talking points for his stream, but
Go.
but that's our mind, y'all. All right, so let me get back to where I was to tell y'all. Like I said, it's a lot going on out here. Everybody who has been covering the Diddy trial is out here, and it is a media circus over there. When I tell you it's a media circus, it is literally a media circus. Now, I think the prosecution did a good job at laying out the facts as it pertains to Cassie. I think as it pertains to Cassie, I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think that it is clear. Oh, excuse me. Oh, did you lie? Oh, okay. I was trying to get another guy, but never mind. Go ahead. No, I was gonna tell you to talk, but you lied. Okay. I was trying to get another guy to tell y'all their opinion, but I think as it pertains to Cassie, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. For the people who say, "Oh, she was complicit," "Oh, she wanted it," "Oh, it's a lifestyle," you have to look at all of the nuances in between. If you can't see how Cassie was a victim, I don't know what to tell you. Now, as it pertains to Jane, and the force by fraud for her, I don't really see them getting that. But I think that Cassie for sure. Now, when people come in your comments and they say bias reporting just means you're not reporting to what I think. That's literally only what bias means. I'm reporting based off of what was presented in court and what I determined from what I saw, per my opinion, because you have your biased opinion. Okay, bias only means to certain people you don't think like me and you're not going with the narrative that I believe. Okay, that's what it means to some people. But anyways, per what I think from what they showed in court, when it comes to Cassie, it is point straight and to the point. Now, when it comes to Jane, it gets a little muddy, and it's like, girl, you just a different story. You was 35 when you started. You already had a rapper that was in the industry as your baby daddy. You was already a person who was in the industry, and you already had resources outside of him, and there was not like a career that he had over your head. It was just a funky what you call a funky little hold on, let me fix this real quick. Hold on 1 second, y'all, because we're gonna fix this just like that. Okay, boom, just like that. That should be fixed. Now, anyways, let's get back to the goings ons that was reported today. Let me pull it back up so we could get back to where we were. All right. So it says, okay, before the Intercontinental Hotel, Cassie had a premiere. Hold on, wait. Did I read that already? Right. We got to keep the bots out. All right. So it says, before the Intercontinental Hotel, Cassie had a premiere. It was a big night for her. She agreed to a freak off as damage control. They said, look at this. She says, I don't want you thinking I don't want to. She knows the defendant won't take no for an answer. The defendant gets jewels to come. You know what happens after that. An argument happens. The defendant hits Cassie in the face. All she can think about is her premiere. So she takes off without her shoes. So after that, they started showing the video of who's this? Is that Misa? I don't know who that is. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to be nosy and see who's getting escorted out and all that. It's a lot. Okay, let me focus on y'all. It's a lot going on. So anyways, so they started showing the video of the Intercontinental situation where she was dragged and hit and all of those things. What is going on? Okay. I just gotta make sure it ain't nothing crazy going on. It's a lot of ruckus, sounding like arguing and all kind of stuff. So they showed the video of the Intercontinental, and they says he kicks her and then drags her back to the room where Jules is waiting. Why is the dragging relevant? Because Jules is there. Freakoffs have multiple sessions. They were in between a freak-off session. He leaves her, but he takes her bag. And as he's walking away, he's thinking that she's going to follow, but she didn't follow him. So he goes back after her. It says, instead of Cassie using the phone in the elevator lobby, the defendant is making another conscious decision to take the bags into the room, then come back for Cassie with his hands free. He grabs her phone and then he makes the decision to stay. He stays even though he is in a towel and looks ridiculous. After Flores arrives, he stalls in the hall. He knows Jules is still in the room, probably naked. The defense claims he took back drugs that day, but you can see he is the one in control. So all the while they were saying this, they were playing the video and they were giving a play-by-play of what was going on in that moment. They showed how Diddy started walking towards the room, and then as he started walking towards the room, he kind of stopped and right before the door and was talking to the security to kind of give Jules, who's in the room, a heads up. It says he was in control. Cassie just wanted to get her bag and phone and leave. The defendant offered Flores money. This is a photo of Jane in the car back to her house with sunglasses on, and she has a black eye. So after they said that, they showed Cassie with the sunglasses on. You can see above her eye, it was swollen, and you can see that she was beaten up. Okay, even though she had big glasses and a hoodie on. It says the defense, and it says he was using Cassie, this situation to force her back to a freak off. It says the defense may tell you the violence was not connected to the freak offs, but it was an attempt to get Cassie to continue with the freak off later. She wrote him and she said in a text message, "I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child." There were freak offs in New York with Daniel Phillip. And it says Daniel Phillip was not paid for his time. This is a ridiculous argument. In one freak off between sessions, the defendant told Cassie to come in the bedroom. She kept using the computer. The defendant threw a bottle. He dragged her and then he slapped her. Daniel Phillip heard Combs yell, "B, when I tell you to come here, you come here." After that, Daniel Phillips could not perform. He couldn't get his Jimmy up. He said, but a completed act is not required for S trafficking. This is S trafficking. So they're saying, listen, he beat her to come back so that she can hunch on Daniel. But after Daniel heard that he was whooping her tail, when it came time for her to get in the mood, she came out and she started rubbing baby oil on him and trying to get in the mood. His wanker wouldn't get up. All right. So after his wanker wouldn't get up, Diddy and them ended up letting him go and letting him leave. And they're like, just because his wanker didn't make it and rise to the occasion, that does not mean that she was not as okay. They said that this is still an example of S trafficking. So it was a lot of good, juicy intel going on. Now, let me make sure we get in some power. Okay. All right. I had to plug us up to the power bank. All right. So, oh, good night. You want to say hi to the people?
Hey, y'all, what's going on? I got a microphone.
Yeah. All right. So this is the Real Rap Show. If y'all see his coverage of the trial, he is giving all of the behind the scenes inner workings of what's going on. So if y'all want to see what y'all can't see from my lens, because I'm over here away from the circus, he got all of the tea. Okay. He getting all of the ball headed.
Yeah. You want all the raw behind the scenes shots of what's going on outside the Diddy trial. That's what I do. The Real Rap Show on YouTube. On Instagram is at Supreme Films. I spell Supreme SAPREMEFILMS. And I'm a legendary nightlife videographer out here in New York. Shout out to Neek and everything she got going on. And I'm out of here, y'all.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right, get that footage. I want to see what I missed. All right. So they were saying, listen, even though that she didn't complete the act, that doesn't mean she wasn't trafficked. All right. So let's continue. It says, then there was the Cannes Film Festival. And then they showed a picture of her at the Cannes Film Festival. She had on this black dress. And it says, even at the Cannes Film Festival, the defendant accused Cassie of stealing his illegal party enhancers. He threw her off the boat they were staying on. Mia heard an audio of this and she recognized their voices. They flew back to New York. She traded seats to get away from Diddy, but he followed her and he changed his seats as well. And all the while she was on the plane, he made her watch the freak off videos. Okay. And I guess they were trying to say that this was a play ball or else this is going to be released type of intimidation tactic. They were like, she moved to get away from him, and then he moved to get close to her, and then he made her watch the FO videos on the plane. All right. So then let's go further. It says he threatened to release the S tapes when they got to New York. And then once they got to New York, she obliged to do a freak off. It says, this is another example of clear-cut coercion. He threw her off a boat without her passport. He wanted Cassie to be afraid to say no to him. Cassie said, I didn't know what no would mean, what no would turn into. He could be violent. The defense said Cassie made a choice every day to stay with him. Step back. Imagine yourself as Cassie. This was the force. This was the leverage. There were illegal party enhancers that made you have a disassociative being, and it gave you this numbing effect. She needed that disassociative party enhancer so that she can have a buffer. It says, yes, some of the messages are explicit, but that doesn't mean that she wanted to have hanky-panky with an escort at a freak off. Okay. It says in 2009, he wrote, "You're supposed to be seducing me all day." Cassie told the defendant that she didn't want to do freak offs. Then they used her birthday party for an example. They said, take her birthday party. Deontay told you about. He demanded she freak off, and she did. What choice did Cassie have in the end? She did not have the freedom to make voluntary adult choices. All right. It says, let's go back to count one for a minute. While it was the defendant in the freak offs, he had help. All right. So they said, even though he's the one performing these freak offs, he had a whole team and inner workings that helped facilitate this. All right. They said he had help from KK, D-Rock, Fahim. They knew it was wrong. How did they facilitate? KK got strange men access to rooms for the defendant and Cassie to do these freak offs. KK got Clayton Howard, and they got Dave access to Diddy and Cassie's room. Jonathan Perez found the video of one of the freak-off tapes that Cassie was having a shaboing session with an escort. He showed it to KK, and it was on one of their work iPads that all of them work with. It says that he showed it to KK, and then says she knew. Fahim saw it too. Fahim got the illegal party enhancers to the defendant during the freak-offs between sessions. All right. It says on February 18, 2024, after Jane told KK still sent stuff for Wild Nights. So they're like, listen, Jane went to KK and she told KK, he is forcing me to have these shaboing sessions with these men. And what did KK do? She still facilitated these nights for them to do. If you guys are here still with me, make sure to hit a 1 in the chat. I don't see y'all commenting. Where are y'all? Are y'all there? Are y'all here? Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the share button. And hopefully everything is coming in loud, live, and clear and in color. Okay. I would hate to be going on and on and on and y'all not here with me. All right. So let's continue. I see y'all. All right. Good. All right. Okay, so I guess y'all just listening. Y'all like, let me just listen real quick. I know that's right. All right. So it says on February 18th. Oh, wait. Let me see. Where was I at? All right. So they said even though she knew about this going on, she still set up these freak-offs. And it says D-Rock even iced Cassie's black eyes. It would be absurd to think that D-Rock didn't know what they were doing. Of course he knew. She said, I expect the defense will say they didn't know. David James saw a stranger. Deontay Nash saw one too. Jonathan Perez saw video of Jane having a shaboing session with another man while the defendant watched. Interstate travel for prostitution. The defendant paid escorts. He caused the travel. He sometimes booked it. The transportation counts do not require force, fraud, or coercion. So they went into the other counts that he is facing. So there's one count of trafficking that requires force, fraud, and coercion. Now the transportation of the lot lizards, I'm gonna say lot lizards in place of prosecution. All right. The providing travel for the lot lizards is not a force, fraud, and coercion is not a element that they have to prove for that charge. So let me continue. It says, all right, so it says, even though, okay, so it says the transportation counts does not require force, fraud, or coercion, even if everybody consented, okay? It says, we know that that's still a crime, okay? It's still a crime. You know that if you hand a person who sells their body money in exchange for them to swap bodily fluids with you, that is a crime, all right? They said it's still a crime. And just knowing that prostitution, lot lizards, it says just knowing transportation with the intent the individual engaged with a lot lizard. It says for count 3, the FOs involving Cassie, the escorts travel was often booked by travel agents. She remembered Dave Clayton Howard. He would travel from New York to Miami or LA. Another escort traveled to Ibiza. It says, then they showed a picture of Jules. Thank you so much, Riley. Thank you so much, D, for the super chat. It says, this was Jules Theodore at the London Hotel in NYC. The defendant asked for Jules' name for the ticket. The defendant Amex card shows that he paid for a car service for Jules from the hotel, from the airport to the hotel, and then there is a $2,000 bill from the London hotel. then the defendant texted that I will tip you. All right. So they're like, you know, you do a good job. I'll tip you. And they're like, why do you think he's sending that? Because he was talking about the Sheboygan. All right. It says for this incident alone, the defendant is guilty under count 3. But there's more jewels at the London hotel starting at 7 a.m. Consider this. Paul going to Turks. The defendant says, how should I pay? He paid for Paul's travel to Turks to have a Sheboygan session. And then they said, here is Reggie. Reggie flew from Las Vegas to LA for a Sheboygan session. He is never tired. Jane sent $1,100 via Cash App. Here is the hotel folio. $4,000 of damage to the hotel staff, and the hotel staff found bodily fluid. All right. So they said when it was time for the hotel staff to go and clean up, they found bodily fluid, and they found all of this damage that totaled up to $4,000. Okay, can you imagine working at the hotel and you see all kind of crusty fluids and everything and baby oil stains everywhere? Child, I would be traumatized. All right. So it says every time KK helped arrange travel for the Wild King Nights, she was a part of the crime. She may not have liked it, but she did it. KK sent up travel for the Wild King Nights in Vegas. All right. So then they played a voice message of Combs, and it says the wildest Wild King Night in Vegas. And then he told them that they needed to find the sexiest room in Vegas. It says KK helped Cabral book his travel. Combs asked her for cash. She knows exactly what is going on. She facilitated travel for the escorts. Each is a racketeering act. You only need to find 2 acts. Just here, there are dozens. All right. So then they took a break about 15 minutes. And I'm going to take a break too. And just for a second, and y'all tell me what y'all think so far as it pertains to this closing argument. Do you think that they were doing a good job laying things out? Y'all in the chat, they said, damn, did he ever get tired? I mean, that's what I'm wondering too. Did you ever get tired of doing the do? I mean, but I guess when you offer those illegal party enhancers, you can keep going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. All right. So after break, dang, this wind keeps blowing my skirts. Child, I don't want them to see all my buns in the back. All right. So they came back from break, and it says, it said, you heard of forced labor of 4 women, Cassie and Jane and Mia and Capricorn. Cassie and Jane, it was a grueling Sheboygan service. Cassie called them grueling, up to 4 days, maybe even more. Jane said the same thing. Cassie and Jane were on call to perform these FOs for the defendant whenever he wanted, wherever he wanted. He used force or threats of force. He would say, let's finish on a high note. Let's finish on a high note. Let's push through. You're not tired, are you? It took weeks to recover these FOs. That is what is considered forced labor. He would tell them, finish strong. All right. It says KK kept setting up hotel rooms and flights. They said, let's turn to Mia. She worked for Combs. Finally at Revolt. She went 5 days without sleep. Combs took her cookie jar as well and assaulted her. They said he put his hands up her dress. He came into her bedroom and penetrated her. He came into the closet and forced her to perform the mouth Gok 3000 on him. There was a time in the bathroom of the private jet where she can't fully remember, and it was, a repeated traumatic event. She was clear as a bell, even under cross-examination. She performed labor and services, including S services. He threw her against the wall and slammed the door on her arm. She saw violence at Prince's party and in Turks. It says, when they were in South Africa, KK told Mia, if you don't call him in 10 minutes, you don't have a job. He has all the power and control. She knew he couldn't say no, even to little things. Mia knew that her job was to protect the defendant. HR was for Combs. She couldn't let go. The police, she couldn't go to the police due to Combs' power. The threats left her with no options. I expect you're going to hear that she could have left, that she told Combs she loved him. Mia pulled no punches. They were high highs and low lows. Capricorn Clark had an issue with overtime. She took the issue to the head of HR, Vashta Wilson, but HR was the defendant's puppet. The defendant and Uncle Paulie threatened her in Central Park, and they made her take a lie detector test, and they forced her to be taken to Kid Cudi's. It says Capricorn had a son to provide for. Combs threatened to blacklist her. And then it says, now let's go to the witness tampering and obstruction after Cassie filed her lawsuit. This weaves the whole story together. Jane wrote, "You gaslit me." She posed a problem for the defendant. So Combs called Jane. The calls were recorded on KK's phone. You can listen to them. On November 19th, 2023, Cassie's lawsuit was already settled, but he is afraid of a criminal investigation. He calls and asks, "What can I do to make you feel better?" He says, I can't be speaking on the phone. He is worried the U.S. will get 3 years of his text messages with Jane while he's recording the call. He tries to convince her she was willing. He says, "We just did some kinky-ish. I thought we both enjoyed it." All right, hold on. One second. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all hit the like button if y'all have not already. And let's get to this mess and let's continue. So let me see, where was I at? One second. One second, y'all. All right. So it says, Combs called Jane. The calls were recorded on KK's phone. You can listen to them on November 19th. He says, I can't be speaking on the phone. And then it says, do you hear on the recorded call the sound of notes being taken with a Sharpie? The plan, how to get what they want Jane to say. You've seen that in this trial. The lawyers passing notes to each other. Do you hear on the recorded call the sound of notes being taken with a Sharpie? The plan on how to get what they want Jane to say. You've seen that in this trial. The lawyers, it says, then Combs had D-Rock reach out to Mia, asking her to say something. Mia told you her reaction to the call. She has seen the defendant bash in Cassie's head. D-Rock has seen it too. He was asking her to agree with a lie. As the federal investigation grew, they kept reaching out to Mia. D-Rock calls her 5 times in a row. The chart Miss Snaker presented to you bring this together. And then it says, for those wondering, it says, hold on one second. It says the defendant's conduct towards Mia is also obstruction and witness tampering. Also, the obstruction is the video of the intercontinental assault, and the bribery is the obstruction. It says, finally, venue. We only have to show an act in this district. Doesn't have to be criminal. It says SDNY includes Manhattan and the Bronx. Count 2, the freakoffs in Manhattan. Count 3, the freakoffs jewels from the London Hotel in Manhattan. Count 4, Jane in Manhattan. It says you spent 7 weeks listening to a lot of evidence that was hard to hear or see. You heard from Kid Cudi's whose house was broken into, and whose car was burned. You heard from Regina Ventura, which is Cassie Ventura's mom, Deontay Nash, how he ran the enterprise with total control. It's time to hold him accountable. It's time to find him guilty. And then the judge said, we'll continue tomorrow. And that was that. All right. So tomorrow will be the defense time to go forward. Hey, I'm like, let me pause first. Let me make sure my mouth ain't all open. Let me make sure my mouth ain't wide open and all that. But what was I saying? Oh, so tomorrow is going to be the defense turn to give their side of the story. And I'm interested to see how they combat this. Now, today, a lot of people feel as though the prosecution did a good job weaving everything together. Now, tomorrow, it could be a completely different story. People could think something totally different. They can think, well, hey, the defense made me look at it this way or look at it that way and look at it, every which way. So it's going to be interesting for sure. Now, somebody said, is this live? Yes, it is. Okay, we sure are live, and in color. You see the marshals passing by. They doing a good job. They probably tired of seeing all this tomfoolery out here. You tired of seeing all this tomfoolery out here? He tired of it. You see him? He tired of it. He's smiling. But anyway, but yes, we are live. And so tomorrow I'm going to be telling you guys the goings-ons of the defense. So I'm going to be here to give you guys the accounting of the defense. Now, let me show y'all the circus one more time before we officially close. Let me go back by the circus. The legendary Torre from MTV. I think y'all seen him pass by, but he's in the front taking pictures. So I'll show y'all Torre. I accidentally unplugged my mic. Let me just put this mic up. Hopefully y'all can hear. All right. So let me show y'all Torre. Y'all seen him walk by. Hopefully he's still over there when I walk over there. And then we're gonna be out. But they be playing music over here. Hey, I'm still live. All right, so these are the line sitters, y'all. Y'all see the tents? They holding the lines down. But hold on, let me show y'all. Hopefully y'all can see. I'm holding up my laptop. Hopefully I can see.
I know the family. I know the crew. I'm not pro or against them, but I think that he did these things. He used his company to help Cassie, and she wasn't. Her abuse was taken. That she was a singer, an actress, a model. She had a chance. She had a chance.
Yeah.
She had as much a chance as anybody who's a beautiful young singer to make it. He never was going to release an album.
No, he only released one, and he started to 10.
So, and when you're a recording artist, you only make money when you release the music.
You think Diddy's gonna get off?
So he's holding on to her.
Can y'all hear?
Release any music. You gotta do this. Her friend told me he would only talk to her about her album, which he was the EP at the freak-off. So I gotta go to the freak-off to have a conversation. Now that didn't come out.
Have you ever been at a freak-off? Have you ever been to a freak-off?
Well, that's an interesting question because we all thought that it was the Eyes Wide Shut party.
Hi, how are you?
We have only heard about
Yeah,
3
hi.
person freak-offs.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Doing the wild party. I mean, if it's happening, I don't know about
So
it.
what is a freak-off? Can you explain what a freak-off is? I do want to tell you that something did come out, and I don't know if you would be very interested in doing an investigation on this, but it did prove, they did say, I just wanted to let you know that. I'm in the guy. I'm in the guy. Can I share this information? What no, but you can't. You Wait a minute, can I just tell you? One of them came to the party after they were able to do the party happened right before the freak-off. It wasn't long out. So just in case if you want to
A lot of us did. Puff was the party promoter in the 90s. If you were going to clubs and stuff, you went to Puff party. I went to his birthday party. I met Muhammad Ali. I went to white party in the Hamptons when he was dating J-Lo.
But they're freak-off.
It was
Hopefully y'all can hear, but I'm about to get up out of here.
Wait, did you see baseball?
Listen, did you ever see any party papers?
Okay, they starting to be ridiculous. All right, let me get out of here. Excuse me. Let me get out. Let me get out. Let me get out. Let me get out. Hi. Oh, thank you. You want to say hi to the people?
Peace, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Were you in there? Did you listen?
I was not inside. I choose to be outside to get the vibe on the street to hear what people are saying. I know it's third-party information a lot of times, but you get very biased, unbiased opinions from what I see out here, and everybody's really expressing. You get the truth out here. You get to really see how people feel about not just the Diddy situation as far as him being on trial, but how they feel about what the trial is about.
Right.
And that's very important.
What you think? What you think? You want to talk? She said no. Okay. But well, thank you. I wanted to get somebody that was on the inside. Let me ask somebody. You want to talk? Yeah. So she is here watching the Diddy trial. She has been seeing it every day.
Every day.
So what did you think today? Because I heard you saying that before today you didn't really see the RICO.
Yes, I didn't see the RICO. I couldn't believe it. I said it's a domestic violence. And then I heard the prosecution talking about in details what he did. Oh, God. And now I understand better.
So now you think that he violated the RICO or what?
I think a little bit, but remember something. The women, they are not innocent.
Oh, okay. She said even though I heard the RICO, they ain't innocent.
No,
so are you
not,
team?
they are not.
So are
The
you
women
team?
are
Are you
not-
team Diddy?
If I what? Sorry.
Team Diddy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said she admitted it. She admitted that. Let me see if I can talk to one more person.
Not yours.
That's how the reporters giving it up. The same way us YouTubers is on the street, this is how the reporters are giving it up too, child. Look. Okay. Business on the top, party on the bottom. But anyways, let me get up out of here. It's time to go. And oh hi, how are you? You want to say hi?
Hey, what's going on?
Were you were inside?
I was inside.
What you think? What you think of the prosecution?
Well, okay. In the morning, I think that they did a really good job laying out the coercion piece of it and all. However, in the afternoon, they lost me. I'm not gonna even lie. Like, I just feel like and I continue to feel like this. It's an overreach. If you all if you all haven't listened to what Sunny Houston had to say on The View and Behind the Table, go over to see what she had to say, because she was a part of the research team who wrote these statutes up, to begin with, and she's even thinking that it's an overreach. So go see what she had to say about it too, because it's a lot of little different crimes that they're trying to string together to say that it's a RICO, but it could really be charged individually if they're still within the statute. So that's just my take on it.
All right, well, thank you.
Okay, have a good one.
Hey. All right, y'all. So that's that on that. I'm going to end there, and I will resume tomorrow and let you guys know the goings on. So what do you guys predict will be the outcome? Do you think the outcome will be guilty or not guilty? Do you think they will find him guilty on all charges? 1 charge, 2 charge, 1 count, 3 counts?
Just came up in TMZ.
Okay, it says Diddy's son Justin is sued by a woman who claims they lured her to a gang R wording. This is just in. Justin is being sued for gang R word, and he is Diddy's son. Thank you. All right, so that's just in. Diddy's son is being sued for gang R wording. It's a lot going on. They still talking to Torre, y'all. All right, I got a low battery. Let me end this before I mess something up. All right, let's talk to y'all later.